There was a rule. Everyone in Manhattan's social circle knew it. Adrian Keller never dated twice. Dinner, perhaps. An event, occasionally. A brief appearance at a charity gala. But never a second date. It wasn't cruelty. It wasn't scandal. It was discipline. Adrian Keller built Keller Capital on control, precision, and a refusal to let anything linger longer than necessary, especially people, which was why the entire restaurant noticed when he sat down across from Bennett for the second time. She noticed too, not because she was flattered, because she was confused. "You're early," she said calmly, setting her menu aside. "You're punctual," he replied. That wasn't a compliment. It wasn't meant to be. She studied him carefully. 6'2", impeccably tailored navy suit. Dark hair that never seemed to move out of place. Expression that rarely revealed more than calculation. He didn't smile much. He observed. "You don't do second dates," she said plainly. "I don't. And yet, silence settled between them. She didn't lean forward, didn't soften her voice, didn't perform charm. Bennett was a structural engineer. She preferred foundations over illusions. "You said you prefer efficiency," she continued. "Second dates aren't efficient." He watched her closely. "Efficiency depends on outcome. And I'm an investment? You're interesting. That's not the same." "No," he agreed. "It's not." The waiter approached. Wine was poured. The city hummed softly beyond the window. "Why?" she asked. "Why what? Why me?" He didn't hesitate. "You didn't try to impress me." "That's because I wasn't." "Exactly." Silence. "That's a low bar," she said. "It's rare." She almost smiled. "Almost." "You walked out first last time," he added. "Yes. Most people wait. I had an early meeting." "That's not the point." "Then what is?" He leaned back slightly. "You didn't extend the evening." "I didn't need to." "Most people do." She studied him carefully. "You think that makes you desirable. It confirms pattern. Or it confirms ego." His gaze sharpened slightly. "You're direct. I don't waste time. That's my line. Then use it better." Silence. He almost smiled again. He hadn't done that in months. "You're aware," he said quietly, "that people expect access when they sit across from me. I'm not people. And you don't want access? I want clarity. And what is clear? That you don't repeat anything unless it matters." He didn't answer immediately, because she was right. He didn't repeat restaurants. He didn't repeat conversations. He didn't repeat people. Until now. "You don't believe in emotional residue," she said. "No. You close chapters cleanly." "Yes. And you think that's strength." "It is." Silence. "But," she prompted. "But you stayed last time." Her breath slowed slightly. "You noticed." "I notice everything." "That sounds exhausting." "It's precise. Precision isn't warmth. I'm not applying for warmth. And I'm not applying for temporary." There it was. The line. He held her gaze. "I don't date twice," he said again. "And yet you're here." "Yes." "Why?" He didn't look away this time. "Because you didn't try to make me choose you." Silence. "That's dangerous," she said softly. "Why?" "Because it suggests you're choosing." "I am." Her pulse shifted. Not dramatically, subtly. "And what happens if I don't?" she asked. "Then I don't ask again." The simplicity unsettled her. "You don't chase." "No." "You don't beg." "No." "You don't apologize." "No." Silence. "You're very certain." "I'm very deliberate." She leaned back slightly. "And if this becomes complicated?" "It won't. That's not how people work. It's how I do." There it was again. Control. Containment. Careful distance. She studied him quietly. "You've never dated someone twice," she said. "Correct. And you don't intend to start a pattern." "No." "Then what am I?" Silence. The question lingered. He didn't rush. Didn't deflect. "You're the first exception." The word settled heavier than she expected. Exception. She should have been flattered. Instead, she felt wary. "Exceptions create expectations," she said softly. "I don't operate on expectation. You operate on control." "Yes. And I don't." Silence stretched between them. He noticed the shift in her posture. The subtle guarding. "You're considering leaving," he said. "I'm considering clarity." "And you don't date twice." "I did." That's not the same. He leaned forward slightly. What would make it the same? She held his gaze steadily. You choose again. And for the first time in years, Adrian Keller felt something unfamiliar. Not interest, not intrigue, risk. Adrian did not text impulsively. He scheduled meetings months in advance, reviewed contracts line by line, and never made decisions based on momentum. Yet 2 days after their second dinner, he sent a message at 8:14 p.m. Thursday, same place, 7:30, no emoji, no soft language, no question mark. Maya stared at it for a full minute. She didn't smile. She didn't feel flattered. She felt evaluated. Not by him, by herself. She typed back, why? 3 dots appeared almost immediately. Because I want to see you again. She exhaled slowly. That was clearer. That's not an answer, she replied. A pause. Then, because I don't want you to be an exception. Her chest tightened slightly. And what do you want me to be? Another pause. Longer this time. Intentional. She didn't answer right away. Intentional was not romantic. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't flattering. But it was honest. Thursday, she replied. By the 4th date, the pattern had already shifted. He didn't interrupt her mid-sentence. He asked about her projects. He listened when she described structural failures in bridge designs and didn't pretend to understand what he didn't. You're different with me? She said quietly as they walked along the river after dinner. I'm precise with everyone. No. She stopped walking. You're less guarded. Silence. I don't guard unnecessarily. That's not true. He studied her. You think I'm emotionally unavailable. I think you're emotionally selective. That's not a flaw. It's not. Then why are you watching for it? Because I don't want to be temporary. There it was again. He didn't like that word. Temporary. It suggested carelessness. He was not careless. You won't be, he said evenly. That's what people say before they retreat. I don't retreat. You don't repeat. The distinction lingered. I don't repeat without reason, he corrected. And I'm your reason? Yes. Her breath slowed. Why? He didn't answer immediately, because this was the part he didn't automate. You don't orbit me, he said finally. What does that mean? You don't adjust to impress. That's because I'm not impressed. The honesty earned him a rare smile. You challenge without performing it, he continued. You don't soften your voice. You don't flatter. You leave when you're done. She held his gaze. That's normal. It's not. Silence. You're used to being the center, she said softly. I'm used to being approached. And I didn't. No. And that unsettled you. Yes. She tilted her head slightly. You like control. Yes. And I don't offer it. No. And that feels like risk. Yes. There it was. No denial. No deflection. Risk. You don't do risk emotionally, she said. I manage it. You can't manage people. I can choose them. And what happens when they choose differently? He didn't answer, because that was the part he had avoided for years. She watched him carefully. You don't date twice, she said again. I've dated you 4 times. That's not my point. He exhaled slowly. You want reassurance. No. You want permanence. No. He frowned slightly. Then what? I want honesty. Silence. About what? About whether this is still a pattern break for you. He held her gaze. It is. And I don't intend to revert. Her chest tightened. That's commitment. It's intention. Those aren't the same. They overlap. She studied him quietly. You're afraid I'll leave, she said. He didn't react outwardly, but she saw it. A flicker. I don't invest in instability, he said. That wasn't an answer. He stepped closer slightly. You don't belong in a category. Her breath caught. And what category is that? Brief. Silence. You're very careful, she whispered. Yes. And this is not careful. She almost smiled. That's new. Yes. He reached for her hand. Not possessive. Not urgent. Deliberate. I don't want to date twice, he said quietly. I want to date you. Her pulse shifted. And if I decide this isn't enough? She asked softly. Then I don't repeat, he replied. She nodded slowly. That's the difference between us. What is? You're not afraid of ending. He watched her carefully. And you are, she exhaled. I'm afraid of being the only one trying. Silence settled. Then, you won't be, he said. It wasn't loud. It wasn't theatrical. It was precise. And for the first time, she believed him. The shift wasn't dramatic. There was no grand declaration, no public announcement. It was quieter than that. It showed up in small decisions. He stopped clearing his schedule after their dinners. He integrated it. He introduced her to his sister without labeling it. He attended her project site visit in Brooklyn without posting about it. And for the first time in his adult life, Adrian Keller didn't measure the timeline of a relationship against efficiency. He measured it against intention. 3 months later, she stood in a hard hat beside him on a construction site. Wind moved through unfinished steel beams. The river stretched gray beyond the structure. "You don't normally visit projects this early in development," she said. "I make exceptions." "There's that word again." "Yes." She studied him carefully. "You're comfortable with it now." "With what?" "Repeating." He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked her to the edge of the partially built overlook. The view was wide, unfinished, full of potential. "You design things to last," she said softly. "Yes." "You don't do temporary." "No." "And yet you avoided permanence." "Yes." Silence. "Why?" she asked quietly. He didn't deflect this time. "Because permanence creates exposure. And exposure creates loss." Her breath softened. "You think loving someone means losing them. I think it means risking it. That's the same." He looked at her fully now. "I don't avoid risk in business," he said. "No. I manage it. You can't manage people. I can choose them. And if they leave?" He held her gaze. "Then I survive." Silence. "That sounds lonely," she said softly. "It was efficient." She stepped closer. "And now," he exhaled slowly. "Now I don't want efficient." The words landed heavier than anything he had said before. She felt it. Not performance. Not strategy. Truth. "You're choosing again," she said. "Yes. And not because I didn't chase." "No. And not because I challenged you." "No." "Then why?" He reached into his jacket. She froze. "You asked me once what would make it the same," he said quietly. Her pulse quickened. "Yes. You said I needed to choose again." He opened the small velvet box. The ring was simple. Not extravagant. Not loud. Intentional. "You're not an exception," he said steadily. "You're the first person I've chosen twice." Her throat tightened. "That's not enough," she whispered. He almost smiled. "I know." He stepped closer. "You're the first person I've chosen without an exit strategy." Her breath caught. "You're the first person I don't want categorized." Silence. "You're the first person I don't want to survive." The words shifted everything. "Marry me. Not because it's efficient. Not because it's safe. Not because it stabilizes anything. Marry me because I don't want to repeat without permanence." Tears filled her eyes. "You don't do this lightly," she said softly. "No. You don't propose to prove something. No. You don't perform. No. Then why now?" "Because I don't want to risk losing you by pretending this is still casual." Her breath trembled. "Yes." The word came steady, full. He slid the ring onto her finger. Not rushed. Not dramatic. Anchored. She laughed softly through tears. "You hate repeating." "I hate repeating without purpose. And now I repeat you." She kissed him. Not cautiously. Not carefully. Fully. Alive. When they parted, he rested his forehead against hers. "I never dated twice," he murmured. "You dated 5 times. And I don't intend to stop." They married the following spring. Small ceremony. No headlines. No spectacle. His inner circle wasn't surprised. They had noticed the pattern change long before the proposal. He smiled more. Paused more. Listened more. Years later, when someone asked him why he never dated twice before her, he answered simply, "Because I hadn't met permanence." And when someone asked her what changed him, she replied, "Nothing. He chose." And that was enough.